I grew my agency to $700,000 months by signing high retainer, but also high rev share deals based on performance, and that's how we were able to scale and grow. This was done as a social media marketing agency, SMMA. So the most saturated niche, the most difficult offer to sell. What I'm showing here is an overview of how you can do the same and even better in the AI marketing agency model. So as an AI marketing agency, okay? I have it right here and this is transcribed on screen. So let's get into it. So this is the AMA model flowchart showing you guys at a high level everything that you have to do and understand to be able to get clients and get paid with this sort of business, okay? So there's 4 steps here. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. This is gonna be a very high level video. This flowchart we will refer back to go very granular on individual elements in the future, okay? But step 1 is creating an offer. Step 2 is presenting that offer to your prospects and intriguing them enough to get them to book a call. Step 3 is after they book the call, making sure, doing everything in your power to make sure they actually show up on that call and then taking the damn call, okay? Step 4, final step, is the sales call. This is a big thing, okay? The sales call is where you pitch them properly on your stuff, and then by the end, you either close them or you don't. And if you close them, then they're a client, great, good job, pat yourself on the back, thumbs up. They go into the fulfillment stream, pipeline, whatever. We don't care about that now. Because as a beginner, as anyone watching this, for anyone who's even doing some numbers with their agency, if you're doing 10, 20, 30K a month, 50K a month, and you want to scale up and go to the next level, everything that you see on screen is what will allow you to do that, okay? Just so you guys know, we were able to scale to our size using one single outbound method on Instagram. This is replicable on other social media platforms as well. We'll go into that here, and we'll go into the other ways of showing your offer to prospects, okay? And the whole flow through all the way in. So let's dive in. Let's zoom in a little bit here. Okay, so step 1 for everybody is going to be your offer, okay? The offer is going to be what you're offering businesses and what you're selling them and what you want to give them. With the AI marketing agency model, the offer is actually quite simple. You're saying, hey, business owner, you give me $1 sign, and you're going to be here, right? This is you, happy. And I'm going to give you back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, $6 signs to the business, okay? And it's a very easy, logical, economical transaction, okay? But what you're really doing with your offer is you're bridging the gap between, let's say, where they are here, their current level, and where they want to be, which is up here, okay? So their current level, they might have inefficiency in the business, they might have lack of leads, they might have too much time spent doing certain tasks, they're repetitive and easily automated. And over here, they have more revenue unlocked, right? More time to spend on higher leverage activities and just better business overall. What you're promising them in terms of this dollar exchange is lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of fucking value, okay? So that's the offer in a nutshell. Basically, if you're gonna run the AI marketing agency model, everyone wants your stuff, okay? Everyone wants what you have to sell. There's a stat that I saw the other day, 94% of businesses want to integrate AI into their business. Only 30% have actually started just to explore, just to see what options are available, okay? How many have actually implemented? Probably, 5% less. So the field is wide open for you to come in and present solutions. And by presenting solutions, all you're really doing, as I explained before, is you're synthesizing existing softwares and you're just plugging them into the business with data that you get from the business itself, okay? So this is going to be the most important part for so many of you, showing your offer to prospects, because anyone can come up with an offer, right? Like, let's come up with an offer right now. Let's say you want to target successful dentists who have dental clinics, and you're going to target owners of dental franchises, for lack of a better word. I don't know that world very well. Let's say someone who has 3 or more dental clinics in a geographical region, and you're going to offer them AI receptionists to increase efficiency of their current staff. Maybe they can fire some existing receptionists who are just useless now and redundant, and ensure higher quality of service, okay? So boom, we have the offer, right? I help dental agencies, I help dental clinics reduce staff costs, increase revenue from clients, because you can tap into their existing clients as well, by integrating AI solutions, AI voice agents, AI systems into your business seamlessly, effortlessly, one click, plug and play, done, no effort for you, we do everything. There's an offer, okay? That'll sell. Showing it to prospect is the hard part. This is where so many of you will fail, okay? So if we start going down here, the simplest way of doing it is you have one stream and you have one funnel of cold outbound. Cold outbound is the simplest. And you pick one of these, Instagram, LinkedIn, X, Facebook, cold email, cold call, and you do that. And you just do one. Just one. This is what we did. We did cold outbound on Instagram all the way to $700,000 months in the most saturated niche in the world. Okay? So that's the easiest way of doing it. And with this, the reason I say it's the easiest is because everything is within your control. You have certain KPIs here, which are beyond the scope of this video, but you will know how many leads you have to get in, how many leads you have to message a day, how many of those leads reply to you, what your percentage is, okay? How many of those replies are positive? How many of those replies that are positive are instant in what you have to say? How many of those who are instant in what you have to say will actually click and watch the video that you send them, the Loom that you send them, okay? Because with cold outbound, the easiest thing to do is you say, hey, I filmed a personal video for you about your business, how we can fix it by doing X, which is what we specialize in. Would you like to see it? Everyone who says yes, you make the Loom and send it to them. What percentage of people watch that Loom? In B2B, e-commerce, it was 67% for us with proper follow-up, which meant we followed up every other day for a fucking month after we sent the Loom. That's proper follow-up. Okay? From that point, of the people that watch the Loom, how many of them will book a call? For us, a good booking rate was 1 in 4. So out of every 4 people who watched that video, 1 would book a call. Use these as markers, barometers of your own success, okay? Because again, my thinking, honestly, and I've seen this, is when you have a hotter offer, a better offer, you should have higher than this. But if you have lower than this, like your stuff sucks and you can fix it. Right? So just think of it that way. Okay? Cold outbound is the simplest because of those hard metrics and because you are in control of your own destiny. You're not reliant on the algorithms of the platforms pushing your stuff forward to the right audience. You're not reliant on just waiting for something to take off and just pumping out content, this endless, dreary, horrible vacuum with no feedback from anybody. Do cold outbound, you get immediate feedback from your leads, whether it's interesting or not. When you make them a Loom, you get immediate real world feedback, whether the Loom is good or not. So you are interacting here with the real world as much as possible in a digital landscape. When you just put content out there, you're not interacting with the real world. You're waiting for it to come to you, okay? You're basically, I don't know, like analogy. You pick up a fishing rod, you hook it in, you throw it in, I don't fucking know fishing, right? And just wait for the fish to bite. You just sit there, waiting. Like a dumbass, okay? If you're starting an agency like this, the lifeblood of your agency is a consistent stream of leads coming in and consistent booked calls, okay? If you go fishing, you might wait weeks, months, years before you get anything big enough to pull in, okay? What we want to do is we want to go hunting. When you do cold outbound, you are hunting the animal, you're hunting your prospect, you're forcing your offer in front of them and you're saying, here, this is what I have, take it or leave it. But I think it's great, okay? So we'll go into all of these platforms in future videos, later videos. What I say here, level 1 priming, also this is why it's simple. Because for cold outbound, you're gonna be messaging from your profiles, right? And your profiles do not have to look super amazing, super fancy, super great. They don't have to have much content. I was doing all outbound from the shittiest looking Instagram profiles ever that I put together in like, I don't know, a couple hours once and done, okay? They look horrible, and we're still getting book calls and leads and clients and closing deals, okay? No ads, anyway, no ads. Ads suck, right, for this, when you're starting out. That's why I call it level 1 priming, because your profile just have to have the bare minimum accepted level for the prospect to look at it, quickly check it out, and be like, okay, this is a real person. That's it. That's the threshold you're trying to pass, Okay, so that's the simplest. A little bit more intense is when you start setting lead magnets. Okay, what a lead is, just so we define a lead properly, a lead is someone who has given you permission to contact them. That's basically it. Okay, they have given, not just permission, they've given you their contact information. Okay, with the expectation that you'll contact them. So how do you get that? Through lead magnets, because all of these aren't leads. When you message them, they're not leads, they're prospects. Anyone who says, yes, I want the loom, yes, send it to me, okay, then they become a lead. But before that, they are just prospects. Whereas lead magnets attract leads to you, okay? And how you do that is by offering something, like a lead magnet, a resource that solves one thing in full in their business. So it completely and entirely solves a problem. If you just ChatGPT some bullshit in a Notion doc and make it look kind of pretty and present it as a lead magnet, no, that will not work. Like, you will actually harm your reputation, and the people who consumed it will be pissed off at you for wasting their fucking time. Okay? So lead magnets require bloody effort. Okay? They have to be good. They have to be something that the prospect would have paid money for. Okay? It has to completely solve one thing in full in their business. And here's the secret. Do not be afraid at all here to give away everything that you know for free. Like I say, I hate free work, and I do hate free work. This is not free work. This is showing that you are an expert in your field and you can solve this one problem vertically integrated all the way down from top to bottom. You have the complete solution, and here it is, Mr. Business Owner. I've given it to you for free, but it's not for free. It's in return for you becoming my lead. Okay? When they become your lead, then you can do nurturing, then you can do more outbound to them, but then it's warm outbound because they know you, this sort of stuff, right? Through emails and newsletter and all of this, you funnel them into here, basically into these systems that intrigue them to book a call. So someone comes into your lead magnet, they give at the very least an email, okay, for least friction. We can do email and name. You can do email, name, and phone number. Okay, and as you collect more and more info, you get more and more data on your leads, on the people who are built up in your list. Okay, then you have a list of people who you control, who are yours, and the whole point of this, of the lead magnet, is you collect a big old list of people that you then intrigue to book a call through these elements down here. Okay, and we'll go into these in a bit. Let's just finish this up. So the point with lead magnets is people run ads with them also, okay? I'm not going to talk about ads for a long time on here for your agency, because as an agency, you want to be self-sufficient. You can't be reliant on Mark Zuckerberg. Can't be reliant on Mark fucking Zuckerberg to give you leads, okay? And you have to have enough cash flow coming in and cash saved up that you can just safely burn it and not even blink, okay? Thousands of dollars, probably tens of thousands of dollars, I would say, if you're starting out. Have 10 to 20K saved up, minimum, that you're not afraid to just set on fire, and if it's gone tomorrow, you don't care, then you can run ads for your agency, okay? Otherwise, no, not yet. You haven't earned the right to run ads, okay? So, I mean, of course you can, but you'll just lose money. The reason there's multiple lead magnets is because from an ad perspective, we want to cycle them, right? So lead magnet 1 will be promoted on 1 week, lead magnet 2 on another week, lead magnet 3 on 3rd week, 4th week, 5th week, 6th week. And then by the time, 6 weeks have passed, you can go back to the same general audience and start with lead magnet 1, and they won't remember that they saw lead magnet 1 6 weeks ago and didn't sign up for it because you exclude the people who are inside. Okay. And the same thing goes really for, because these are also for organic content, but this is just, you can use these at any level. Like if you do cold outbound to people on, let's say, LinkedIn, okay? But in your cold outbound message, instead of saying, hey, I have a loom for you, you can say, hey, I noticed you're missing out this key element in your business, and we've helped 15 businesses improve their revenue by X, Y amount by implementing this key thing. I have a quick video about it. I have a quick document about it. I have a quick resource about how to send it, how to fix it. Do you mind if I send it over? And if they say yes, it doesn't have to be a loom. It can be a lead magnet. Okay? So all this builds up First level is this cold outbound on one single platform. Then you can add more platforms. Then after you've added platforms, you can start having lead magnets. And you can test with these platforms where you're doing cold outbound, how the leads respond not just to a loom, but to a loom and a lead magnet, okay? Or to just a lead magnet, or to a bundle of lead magnets. It goes more and more, coalesces out, okay, as you build this up. So, again, that's where we're at, okay? So, and lead magnets will also go into those specifically, how to do them, what to do in them to build your agency. But next step then is going to be content, okay? Content production. This is the most intense way of showing your offer to your prospects, okay? Is making content. Why is it intense? Because it's a direct demand on your time with no direct exact outcome. Let's say that was the longest pause ever. Okay, but there's no measurable outcome and you are at the whims of the algorithm. The advantage of this is that you build up your audience of loyal followers over time. Okay, so you have all these people, okay, and they like your stuff and they just keep watching, and over time more of them watch and 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 more of them watch. Then you get this flywheel effect where you're getting more and more and more eyeballs over time, right? And the growth is kind of like this, like this, like this, and then you hit something and something really takes off at some point and goes whoop, okay? And there's your audience, right? But the problem is to go from here to here might take you 3 months, right? It might take you 6 months. It might take you 12 months. It might take you 3 years. There is no way to tell. If you're starting from scratch and you've never built an audience before, you have no idea how much content you will have to produce for how long, in what formats, on what platforms, until the algorithm gods favor you and your stuff rockets off, okay? That's why you only do this once you have consistent leads coming in through cold outbound, which you control. And once you have lead magnets set up, because if you set all of these up first, then even if you have a tiny little shit audience, for example, my audience on this channel right now, I think I have like 270 subscribers, right? You guys are great, thank you. From that audience, I already have students coming in, working with me, okay? So you are not a shit audience, but you are just a very small audience right now, all right? For most people, they need a very big audience over time to make use of it, okay? Because they won't have the expertise to be able to make relevant content. Like, if you haven't noticed, I only started making content. Well, I started making it in November 2023, a little bit half-assed, and already, I think the first thing I ever made was when we passed $100,000 months. Okay, like 5 months into the agency. So March, April, May, June, July, August, somewhere around there. And August, September, October, November, then I kind of went more into content. I did it for a little bit there, but we were already doing $400,000 a month. Okay, so I had something to talk about and something to actually back up what I'm saying. You guys, if you're just starting out, you don't have that. Okay, so all of this feeds into the next step. So this is the first step. It feeds into the next step. Creating good lead magnets feeds into the next step, because also you're not going to be able to make fucking lead magnets if you've never done what you're actually offering these businesses. You won't even know what they'll want in a lead magnet. So you have to do the freaking work, right? And the only way of doing the work is by doing cold outbound until, okay, doing cold outbound, intriguing them to book a call with you, making sure they show up for a call, having a sales call, selling them, making them a client, and then working with them. Only then do you start to get kind of the industry expertise and industry knowledge to create and be able to come up with good lead magnets. And no, asking ChatGPT what a good lead magnet for will not cut it, okay, or what a good lead magnet is, right? So more intense is doing content, and this is, again, this is later on. So after you have clients, you can acquire clients, you know how to get clients, you have a functioning outbound, cold outbound method that gets you consistent, predictable leads. You have all your KPIs, you have your metrics, right? And you've built out some lead magnets, then you can start doing content. Because even if you have, you know, a very small audience, right? Let's say 200 people watching your YouTube, but you're talking about real stuff and they're actually intrigued. And if you already have built out all of these lead magnets, then right away you can ask them to go and get these lead magnets in exchange for their email. And then you have them on an email list. And then you can do all this sort of stuff, such as here we have newsletter, we have Telegram group, right? We have Facebook group, we have school group. We can invite them to live trainings that we host. We can do a webinar, okay? We can also nurture them on DMs, right? Etc., etc., etc. All of this stuff builds, okay? Master level of this is going to be, master level, all of it, all at once. Okay, so all the above, all at once is not God tier, this is master level, okay? And the whole point is you build an omnipresence about you and your brand so that people and businesses and owners and founders and CEOs and high-level C-level executives know you based on your content, based on the lead mags they've consumed from you, and based on you actually doing cold outbound to them so that when they see a message from you in their inbox, whatever inbox on whatever one of these platforms, right? They're like, oh, hey, I know that guy. I've seen his YouTube. Or I've read his LinkedIn posts. Or I've read his Twitter threads. Wow, yeah, I'll open this and look and reply. Whoa, he's messaging me. I'm honored. Right? So it all builds. So this is mass level, all of it, all at once. And from an agency side, honest to God, we have just started today running ads. Okay? For our stuff. And right now they are in review on Facebook. Right? So elite God tier Chad mode, silverback gorilla on a hill is doing all of this, having all of this all nailed, all done, having an omnipresence around you, and then plugging in paid ads and giving money to Facebook and Zuckerberg and all of this in the hopes of them getting you, you know, your $3 signs back to you. Okay? That's what it is. This is going to be extremely difficult for anybody as a beginner. Okay? And it's unpredictable and it's flaky, and if your ad account goes down, you're screwed, and if your whole business relies on ads, you're also screwed, and if you get banned, you're also screwed. So this stuff is beyond the scope of probably this whole channel, okay, because it also requires big ad spend to do big numbers, and you have to integrate all these properly with everything else that you build up above, okay? Plus, right now, I figure you guys want to be self-sufficient and be able to run your AI marketing agency without having to rely on ad platforms and ad spend, and being able to just do it yourself through either cold outbound, and then adding some lead magnets in, and then starting to do content, okay? But let's just focus on cold outbound, okay? Because that's all you need. That's all you need. If your goal is 50K a month, this is all you need. If your goal is 100K a month, this is all you need. If your goal is 200K a month, still, this is all you need, okay? So then, after you show your offer to prospects through all this stuff that we took forever to talk about, you got to intrigue them to book a call enough, okay? And this is through these systems. So through setting up VSLs, or doing a systems video of the systems that you're offering, okay? Breakdown of those. Or a pre-sale video that you send to prospects who booked the call before the actual call, okay? Pre-call loom over here. We'll talk about it. Showing them client testimonials once you've started getting results for people, okay? Doing a webinar, which can be pre-recorded and scheduled like every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at a good time for your people. Or you can run it every single hour of every single day, okay? And say, oh, hey, Mr. Prospect, you want to do a call? Oh, actually, you know what? What a coincidence. I have a webinar at that time on Tuesday when you said you're free. Why don't you go there instead? Less pressure, right? It's a pre-recorded thing, and then you present it to them. And there's lots of social proof and just a different way of selling. So, webinar. You can do live trainings, which are basically real webinars, okay, where you actually go in and do it live and present your systems or whatever you want, okay? There is school groups that you can do, and all of these things are just methods that will intrigue people to book a call wherever they are in your funnel, okay? Same with a newsletter. Once they've signed up to become a lead through a lead magnet, you have their email, so you hook them up to your newsletter, okay? You invite them to your Telegram channel with daily posts. You invite them to your Facebook group if your target audience hangs out on Facebook, okay? You can have a private mastermind coming up later on, right? For example, this can be with existing clients, all right? But all this stuff, or just even showing off a private mastermind, can be your high ticket offer, okay? In addition to actually delivering stuff to them, okay? All of these things are ways of nurturing your leads and nurturing your prospects, and then pushing these things out to here, well, mostly these, to get them to book a call, okay, to intrigue them actually to book a call, with the express purpose of getting them to step 3, which is booking the call and then making sure they show up for it and having the sales call. Okay? So all of this is very much in depth. We will go into this stuff in depth. Okay? But after you have your offer down and you've shown it to your prospects, let's say through a cold outbound channel, right? So like this, you have your offer down and you show it to prospects through Facebook, okay? You went through Facebook with level 1 priming on your account, and you've intrigued them to book a call through a Loom that you sent, that you filmed for them specifically. Then they booked a call. Here, they've crossed this barrier, okay? Then you have to make sure that they show up for the call. And how do you do that? Like this. You put together a pretty intense pre-call drip sequence of emails and SMSs. And we have like 16 before the calls. But because of that, we have above a 90% show rate, okay, in business-to-business movement creatives. Before, when I was running business-to-consumer, rebelfit.io, we had like a 60% show rate. It's horrible. You have your calendar booked out, you're sitting there all day, and then one call doesn't show up, and then you can't do anything else because you're in the sales call mode, right? You're expecting call after call after call after call, and the first one shows up, and you don't sell them, and then you screwed up on objection handling or whatever, and you want to do a really great job next time, and you're all pumped up and excited, the next one doesn't show up. Then you get deflated, but you have like 45 minutes only left before the next one's supposed to be there, so you can't really switch to do anything, so you just wait, the next one, wait for it, and then he's late. And then, you know, it's a disaster. So the goal is to get 90% plus show rate, okay? And you do it like this. Pre-call drip sequence of SMS and emails, okay, before the call. And then personally, you send them an SMS or a WhatsApp message 3 hours before the call. In that message, you say something very simple like, hey, John, it's Edward. Just checking in if you're still good for our call in 3 hours, question mark. First message. Right away, you send them a second message if you have something like this. What I like to do is a pre-call Loom, which is a longer video, longer Loom, showing the offer and the systems behind it in a way that will pre-sell them, so the people who show up on your sales calls will already want your stuff, okay? It just makes your job selling them a lot easier. So send them that video, and right away, so first message, hey, John, it's Edward, making sure you're still good for a call in 3 hours, question mark. Second message, hey, if you could, please give this a watch before our call. It'll show the exact systems we will implement in your business to achieve X, okay? It will save us a lot of time on the call because we don't have to talk about generalities. We can go into specifics of your business. And that's intriguing for them because it shows them that, you know, you want to focus on their business. They'll watch it. Most people do watch this. If you want a third message, so one, we do 2, 3. We started doing this now because our pre-call Loom for Boom Creators is longer. I had a third message that says, it's about 18 minutes long, so if you need to push back the start time of the call, that's no problem as long as you see it before we talk. Okay? Nobody actually pushes it back, but all that does is because over here in the second message, all they see is a link. They don't see how long the video is. So this third message alerts them to, hey, it's like 18 minutes long, so just make sure you make time. And you have 3 hours to find the time for it, so I'm sure you'll manage. Okay? That's what it is, and the goal is to get a 90% plus show rate. And when you have this, your leads are not wasted, and you're golden, and you're happy, and then you have reps fixing and working on the next part, which is having the sales call. Okay? This is going to be one hell of a struggle for so many of you who have been taught, I don't know what, but not how to sell. Okay? But the sales call is going to be such a pivotal aspect and such an important aspect of your whole business. Okay? And here's a quick and easy structure of what it's going to go like, and it is own step. Because all that we've done up to now, it just leads up to this point, which is the sales call. And the sales call consists of basically the scripted pitch that you give, at the end of which the prospect should be sold on your offer. So everyone that gets to the end of your script, when you say, hey, does this sound good? Do you want to implement in your business? They just say yes. You'll say, okay, great. Do you actually see how this will save you X amount of dollars, or how this will make you Y amount of dollars in new revenue? They'll say yes. And you're like, okay, great. And you see how we can do it for you? They'll say yes. And you actually do want to do it with us? They'll say yes. That means they're sold. Okay? So, but a monkey can fucking do that by reading correct words on a script. The games begin afterwards in objection handling. It's what percentage of those who are sold you actually close and pull over the line to become clients. Okay, and this is all about objection handling. So to do that, we'll go into this in depth as well. This is just a high-level video. Okay, start of the call, you dive right in, and you have to dig about them. Okay, to figure out where they are, where they want to be, what their biggest struggle getting there is, maybe what they tried before, maybe not, and why they care about getting here. Okay, and if you have these 4 things, you're set. You're good to go, because this one gives you ammunition to objection handle in the future. And this one makes sure that you can frame your pitch to the actual person, prospect you're talking to individually. Okay, so you do that, then you do your pitch. And the pitch is based on a script. Okay, and by the end of the pitch, you ask yourself, are they sold? Do they give me a resounding yes when I say, okay, good, that's all that we'll offer you. Does that sound good? Is this something that you want to pursue? Yes. Do you see how our systems will achieve goal X for you? Yes. Do you want to actually do it with our team? Yes. Then great, they're sold over here, right? If it's a no, or it's like, I don't know, that means your script wasn't good enough and your pitch wasn't good enough, and that's just feedback for you to improve your script. So you have to redo it, you have to fix it, okay? And then the next sales call, same sort of thing. You do the same thing. You dig, right, where they're currently at, where they want to be, what they've tried before, / what their struggles are getting there, and why it matters to them. You can get more granular on these questions. These are like the high-level, broad 4 questions that cover basically every industry, okay? And then you pitch it to them. And if you pitch it a little better than last time, and you say, okay, cool, do you see how we can help you get there where you want to be? Yes. Do you want to work with us? Yes. Do you like our systems? Yes. Do you like what we're offering? Yes. Okay, great. Then they're sold, okay? And then you give the price. And then see what I say here? You give the price and you wait. Literally, I mean, you just wait. You give the price and you shut the fuck up. So you say, okay, Mr. Prospect, so we have 3 tiers. The highest tier is for brands making over 100K a month. We charge 15K for our services upfront. Second tier is for brands making 50 to 100K a month. We charge $10,000 upfront. Third tier is for anyone making under 50K. We charge 5K upfront. And then you just shut up and wait. And you wait for them to speak. Okay? And if they say, oh, sorry, what was that last one? I didn't hear. I'm writing it down. You say 5K. And you still wait. You have to have them break the silence first. Because at this point, you don't know. Like, there's actually high potential because you're attracting actual real businesses who are doing revenue. Your price point is going to be so low, they'll be like laughing in their head like, yeah, of course we'll do that. Okay? And then you give the price point. If you don't talk yourself or the prospect out of it, they will just close. And I'll say, okay, great. So 15K, yeah, for us? Okay, yeah. Yeah, we can do that. But if you talk and you have your uncertainty and anxiety come across, you fuck it up for yourself. So you give the price points and you shut the fuck up. Please, like, just do yourself a favor. Do me a favor. If you took one thing from this video, it's this. You give your price points and then you shut up until they speak. Okay, it's so important, especially for beginners. Okay, and then basically, but what most cases will happen is they will have some objections, okay, which you will have to objection handle, okay? And your ability to objection handle will literally make or break your business, and it will make or break your close rate, all right? So elite level closers are closing at, depending on the offer, right, 30% on kind of a shitty offer, 40% on a pretty good offer. If you have a great, amazing, holy shit fucking offer that's a no-brainer, will make the money hand over fist, right? Which is an AI marketing agency offer. And your offer over here is that fucking good. I can easily see that you can have 50%, 60%, 70% plus close rate. Okay? And you know who gets actually 70% plus close rates? Is people who have over time built up an audience like this through content. Okay, through content, and all the leads coming to them are inbound, meaning people have consumed their stuff, taken their own initiative to book a call, gone to the website, filled the form, and booked the call, booked the slot on the calendar with the owner who they've consumed the content of, and they talk directly to the owner. If they take all those steps of their own accord, they're sold. Like, if you don't close them, you fucked up, right? So basically, that's also what you'll see is you'll see a lot of people giving kind of astronomically high bullshit close rates if they are running their entire business on having had an audience and then shifting or whatever or presenting to their audience and only working with warm leads and the warm leads talk to the person who they've consumed content of, right? And like, oh, I'm the greatest salesperson. No, you have a system that gets your prospects very, very hot. They're coming to you, okay, which is great and fun, and everybody wants that, and we build that in, but as an additional layer, not as the start. Because at the start, if you do cold outbound directly, like I'm teaching you guys, okay, and if you want to see my systems that I actually built, comment outbound below this video and I will send them to you. It's a 2-hour training, fully in-depth, everything is there. That's a lead magnet, okay, but I solve outbound for you. I show you everything that we do and exactly how we do it, okay, how we're doing it to this day on Instagram, okay. When you do cold outbound yourself, you will know your metrics and your numbers so that you are in control of your own destiny. If you run the cold outbound system that I show in that training, you will get your first client within 30 days. It just depends on you putting the reps in and doing the work. And you will sign somebody. And that's all it takes. You just do the fucking work, okay? The difficulty lies in not knowing what path to take, but I've laid it out for you. So if you want to copy my trajectory, do even better, right? What do? Copy my path. And I've given it to you, okay? And this one is predictable. Whereas if you start at a beginner from 0 or from something small, 10K a month, 20K a month, 30K a month, but it's always fluctuating and you have high churn rate and you like, sometimes you focus on acquiring clients. And when you have clients you're acquiring, you focus on fulfilling for those clients. And you know, your acquisition channels drop, and then you know, you don't have any leads coming in, then you have to drop fulfillment. You have to start focusing on trying to get clients again. And then your fulfillment rates drop and suck and people churn and fuck off, right? This is this horrible, not a business like you're making money, but you're just barely like staying afloat, you're treading water, you're gonna die every single week of every single month. Okay, that's what you want to get out of with predictable systems for client acquisition and having a full calendar and being able to sell them. Okay, and then being able to actually maintain the people who sign on for a very long time. How do we do that? And why is this agency model so good? Because it relies on AI, and the AI will do the fucking work for you, which means the work is standardized to a very high level. All right? Okay, so back to this. So your ability to objection handle will make or break everything, okay? And elite closers on, you know, kind of general normal offers, 30 to 40%, 30%-ish, elite, okay? 40%, it's a really good offer. And then for AI marketing agency, which is like a no-brainer offer, you should be able to get with a little bit of practice, a little bit of reps, like 50, 60% plus, okay? So there you go, fun stuff, right? It's a lot more attractive than a 10 to 15% close rate on a business to consumer offer selling like, I don't fucking know, high ticket fitness to brokies who are making less than 30K a year. All right. So, objection handle, you know, that's a whole other thing. But yeah, your ability to objection handle will directly impact your close rate. If you close them, great. Yes, you're done. They go off into the fulfillment pipeline over here. And you worry about fulfillment, but that's way beyond the scope of this. Okay. And if you don't close them, this is what you have to do. You fill out your tracker of KPIs, okay? And you put notes on what you did right and what you did wrong for that call. You review the recording of the call. So that means, yes, you watch it again. And yes, it might be boring, but this is the only way you will improve fast, okay? You make notes on everything you did wrong and everything you did right, handwritten fucking notes, okay? With pen and paper, okay? On everything, because there's a different mind-muscle connection when you're actually writing like this and there's no screen distraction and a million things that you can click. It's you, the paper, and the pen, okay? And you're playing your recording somewhere here, okay? You're writing shit down, okay? So you make notes to improve like this, okay? As you're reviewing the recording. But the best thing to do is you send your recording for one-to-one feedback, one-on-one feedback by somebody you trust, somebody above you, okay? Then they will grill you, but you will learn, right? And then you note the weak points of your pitch, of your script, okay? And you have them in mind, and you figure out how to fix them before you are able to repeat that mistake on the next call. And to iterate on this, you role play on the elements that you struggle with, okay? With a friend, with a partner, with anybody, okay, in your network. If you're in a mentorship group with someone there, because you have to think of it like this way, okay? Getting a no on a sales call is not a failure. It's an opportunity to improve, but only if your ego doesn't stand in the way, okay? So if your ego won't even let you watch your own recordings and won't let you criticize them harshly, the only fucking person you're hurting is yourself, and your close rate will stay stagnant at whatever it started out at, 10%, 15%, whatever, right? But if you just dedicate yourself to improving how you objection handle here, and how you close people, and reviewing your calls, like this. Instead of being stagnant, it can start to go up and up and up, and then you can be closing at like elite level tier. Okay, but only if you do the work. And this is very important. One-to-one feedback from someone you trust, someone above you, will put you miles ahead. Okay? So, in a nutshell, that is how you run an AI marketing agency. Outer world. Okay? An outer world is everything that leads up to someone paying and signing contract, and then they go into inner world, which is all client fulfillment. So this is the outer world on a high level of AI marketing agency. We're going to go into this in depth because every single one of these elements can be broken down into a million sub pieces, like the offer, breaking down the offer, breaking down how to show it to prospects, okay? Or figuring out the cold outbound system for just one of these, like the cold outbound system on X, okay, is a whole deep topic in and of itself. How to prime your profile on X, okay? What to do in the loom that you send them to actually intrigue them enough to book a call off a cold message from you through one of these platforms, etc., etc. Okay, so this is the baseline for this channel now. I want to be referring back to it and covering different elements in greater depth in future videos, but hopefully that was helpful as an overview. I will give you this. If you comment outbound below, like I said before, I will send you a full, it's like 2-hour training of everything, the exact outbound systems that we ran. I show everything behind the scenes. There's some very, very important little known softwares in it that we use to drastically increase efficiency, okay, for our stuff. So you can get that. And I will leave here above me, okay, on this screen, a recording of feedback that I gave a one-to-one mentorship student on a sales call. I pivoted his offer from SMMA to AIMA to the AIMA model, and he improved within 24 hours, within 12 hours. Massive, drastic improvements. So you'll be able to see the sort of feedback that you will want to look for on your calls to be able to make the same sort of improvements. And it's good to see other people, how they start out doing sales calls and all this sort of stuff. And it's good to see feedback from someone who's done literally thousands of them. So I'll give you those 2 resources. There you go. Enjoy. Cheers.